Hello, I'm Jody Wolf, and you're watching Expoz, June 8, 2019, 1:37 a.m. Topic: I believe there is another reason behind Israel holding elections again in September. And if you go back and research a little bit, you'll see that Italy did this once a year for 60 years. It kept them screwed up the whole time. There were no policy making. And if there were, it was vetoed, and the next group came in, and anything that was done right, then the next group. This went on for 60 years. But I think Israel called for a second election this year. You know, Netanyahu just won it. I think there's a motive behind it. And let me tell you what I think it is, and it's perhaps a good thing. And I'll tell you why there too. You have these groups in Israel. You have the Sanhedrin. They love Donald Trump. They love Donald Trump. I mean, he can do no wrong in Israel. And they make it known that they're crazy about that man. And then you have the ultra right wing. These are people who are diehard temple fans. They want it, and they want the temple now. They don't want to wait for a year. They don't want to wait and let Jared Kushner's message play out. They want it now. And they're the ones calling for the special elections coming up in September. And then you have the Orthodox Jews. They're not too much into any of this as far as making noise and, no, we don't want to do this. Yes, we want to do that. Look, the Orthodox Jews are just the first 5 books of the Torah is all they're interested in, and they keep that part at heart. And but again, I keep saying I think there's a motive behind it, and we'll find out in September if I'm right. And I'll tell you what it is. If Benjamin Netanyahu was placed into power for Israel, just like Donald Trump was placed into power in the United States, when September comes, Netanyahu will still remain in power. Keep in mind, what God wants, God gets. And let me tell you why I think they're doing this. It's not God stepping up. It's just that he's using people to achieve his will. And I think, and I told you that I've been afraid of Jared Kushner's speech. I've been afraid of it. And if you listen to him talk today about the new election coming up in September, they'll always footnote it and say this kind of puts a monkey wrench in Kushner's plan. That might be a good thing. Because if Kushner went in with Netanyahu in power, with him not in power, and Kushner is not going to do it with Netanyahu not in power and not with his house. his committee that he never got to finish selecting. And this is the reason that they put on it, calling for elections in September. That's not why. I think in my heart, deep down, I think that Jared would have brought judgment, severe judgment upon the United States. And I think it's God's plan that the people, the Jews and the people, the Americans, they still have some work to do together. Jared's plan, had it come in, by the latest that I'm hearing, this country would have been judged. And I think God changed it by using these people, the right, the political right, to change or to stop the official nomination of Netanyahu and bring up another one in September. So either Jared will be forced to come back and redraw that, because I think he's smart enough that he can figure that out. And that would also put Netanyahu back in, because he is still God's man, just like Trump is still God's man. So think about that, and maybe the postponement of Netanyahu's full term and bringing up a new election in September had to have been done. Otherwise, we'd been plunged into perhaps the rapture of the church. But an early set of circumstances that's too early for us, that we're not ready. Israel's not ready. And I believe that's why we're seeing that today. And really all because of Kushner's plan is not a good plan. And not only would it have crushed America by the way of judgments, it would have stalled Israel in their tracks and forced Israel into wars that they don't want to fight. They don't mind defending themselves, but they don't want to go after anyone. And on top of that, we, the Americans, the United States, won't be there or wouldn't be there if that plan went through, and if it was ratified, if it was adopted. I believe that it would have made the difference on the timing of where everything's going, and the timing is not right, says God. It's all on His timing, and we're trying to change that timing. God's not going to let it happen. So just keep that in the back of your mind. I honestly believe this is why the elections were put back on in September, to prevent Jared Kushner from proposing this peace plan that may have been very, very bad in the line of judgments against the United States. We'll see. The future holds that, and they'll let you see that. That's my belief, guys. Jody Wolf Expoz.